Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to a special edition of Once Upon a Game, where we're playing Eden with its designer Marc Hobbs. If this is your first time on Once Upon a Game, no problem. Once Upon a Game is my one-shot story game or like indie RPG show where we kind of just play a role-playing game in about 3 or so hours and kind of wrap it up in the same time. I often like to play games that we haven't played before, or if we are playing a game, it's because it's a really really good and really fun game, and that's what's going on tonight. So we have a couple episodes of Eden already back in the backlog, the library of Once Upon a Games, and this is the first time though where Eden is now on Kickstarter, and so this is sort of like the semi-final or latest edition of the game, and I'm really excited to get into it and play with its designer here, Marc, who we're going to hear from just in a quick second. What all the different changes and things like that. So we're gonna play the game and then kind of talk about it a little bit at the end. So super happy to do this. And that's enough about that. And let's go around and meet our guests here. So let's just go down the order here. So let's start with Marc. Marc, how are you?
Good.
Hi.
I'm great. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, as you mentioned, my name's Mark, and I wrote Eden. And in my not story gaming life, I am a college professor. I teach international students how to speak English, and I live in Washington State. And that's that. I've been playing story games for a long time now.
Yeah. It's cool. It's one of those cool things where sometimes Marc and I have played games in real life together.
Yes.
Because of Story Game Seattle. So it's cool. It's cool to see something that we've done together now. And man, how about you tell us more about your Kickstarter though?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's happening, and it's running until just after Election Day. Is just kind of how it worked out, unfortunately, but that's the way you go. And yeah, it's going great. I mean, the funding goal I already hit, but there's still plenty of room.
You more than doubled it.
More than doubled it, right? Exactly. So that's great, and that means the game is definitely happening. And from here on, it's just more of getting the word out and having as many people come and check it out as there are that are interested, and see what they think.
I know. Thank you. And so thank you so much for giving me the chance to play it and demo it and share it some more with everyone, my loyal Once Upon a Gamers. So thank you. So this is gonna be a lot of fun. So yeah, and then also with me and with us is my good friend AP Arthur. What's up, man?
Good evening. How are you? I'm great.
Yeah, tell us a little about yourself.
I am a tabletop role-playing streamer who backed this, not knowing I'd also get to play it early. So I'm super excited to do this thing that we're about to do. As some of you may know, I've run Downfall a couple times, and you could say that I really heart less than 3 games. Boom. Nailed it. Thank you. Let's go ahead and play that CSI Miami intro right there.
That was
Thank you, Rob.
That was fantastic.
Yeah.
I've been practicing that for hours.
I was wondering how long you've been prepping. Super cool.
Yeah.
Yes, for anybody who's confused about the situation, my wife wrote Downfall.
That's a good thing to
there you
put
go.
up. Yeah. And so before we jump in, Marc's going to be the facilitator for this game instead of just me normally, which I'm excited about because it's always fun to not have that burden for a little bit, in addition to the roles of being a host and doing all the streaming production. But in addition, though, we have a couple little ground rules and things about like that we should talk about beforehand. As always, even though Marc and I have played together and AP and I have played together, there's still chances, Marc and AP don't know each other. And even when you know people, sometimes you don't, you can get comfortable. You might forget. You might end up trying something different. And it's always important to talk about lines, veils, and the X card. Basically, if there's ever an instance where you're not comfortable with the subject matter, and this is a one shot, and I think it's always good to try to like push whatever you're kind of interested in, as long as and that kind of stuff, and see what's fun. Have that sort of relief valve. Have that sort of ability to be like, hey, hold on, can we talk about this? Can we take a step back real quick? Or can we kind of like stop the scene there and like, because we know what's going to happen and not get into other things like that. Or bring up like, hey, listen, this some of this type of material is kind of like triggering or disturbing to me. I don't want this in our game today. Is that all right? Being able to like bring up that kind of conversation, not just at the start, but like midway through if we need it, whatever. Basically, acknowledge the fact that we're adults playing a game, and this is a consensual experience. And if you feel like you no longer want to consent to what the subject matter is, that we're willing to stop and talk about it in a way that is good and mutually beneficial for all parties. Right? Are we cool with that? Are we cool with being adults doing a thing?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Great. So with that being said, then, Mark, how about you take it away?
Sure. I'd love to. So the first thing that we do to get started in Eden is some reading. So let's see. I am going to pop that into. Can you guys see that in Roll20?
Yes.
Okay.
And they can see it online.
Oh, great. Perfect. Oh, yeah, because they can see the Roll20 screen. Right. So I'm going to have, let's see, I'll go ahead and put all 3 parts, and we'll just take turns reading them out loud as well. Cool. Okay, so Eric, why don't you read the first paragraph, and then Arthur, you can read the second one, and I will read the third.
Okay. So, forget what you know of paradise. This is a new Eden where the animals talk and the people are curious and naive. It is an Eden of every imaginable land, from desert to forest, mountain to sea, jungle to glacier. It is an Eden surrounded by an impregnable wall, broken only by a single gate, which no one has ever used. It is, or was, a safe place.
We, the children of Eden, were born of it and into it. The garden is the only home we have ever known. There are few of us, and we live in harmony with nature and one another, sleeping wherever we want each night and doing what we like during the day. We are innocent, keeping no laws, building no cities, and holding no wars. Good and evil are words we know, but our understanding is small, and there is much to learn.
Our paradise is shared with the animals of the world, who speak to us and tell us many things. They have not yet lost their trust in humanity. They live and die by their immoral instincts, knowing nothing of right and wrong, but we learn from them all the same. And as the sun rises over the wall in the east, Eden stretches to the horizon before our eyes, ripe with lessons, dangers, and possibilities. So that's the setting. That's where we are. And that's kind of giving us a taste of what sort of flavor we're going for in this game, this idyllic paradise. The first step to play is to choose our favorite animals. So you're going to pick a species of animal to be your character's favorite, and your character is going to talk to this animal throughout the game. It's going to play a major role in the story. So it's really important to pick something that you find interesting and that you think is going to make for a fun game for you. So yeah, in any order, we can say what we like, and we'll go from there. And the only caveat is we have to have different animals. So what are you guys thinking?
My initial instinct was a possum, but
Okay.
I don't know enough about them, I think, to really get into what they are, other than they play dead.
Well, the fact is that actually you won't end up playing the possum.
That's true.
Because that's going to be our job. So if you want to do possum.
Yep, I'm going to do a possum.
I mean, Arthur, do you feel comfortable? Do you know like enough vaguely about a possum?
I know that the state of West Virginia in the United States has something called a roadside patrol.
Mm-hmm.
That is an official state business that goes around getting dead possums off the side of the road and then reselling them to residents as cheap meat. I think I know a little bit about Possum. I lived there for a couple of years. It's no big deal.
Okay.
Yep,
So,
yep.
yeah, I think we're good, Eric.
All right.
I think possum's going to be the one.
I mean, who doesn't love marsupials?
It's true.
Mm.
Arthur, do you have an animal that you're interested in?
Polar bear!
Polar bear. Yeah, nice.
Bear.
Nice.
I mean, if your animal doesn't have claws the size of bananas that are razor sharp, are you doing this game correctly? I don't know.
Probably.
But that's my assumption.
I'm going to pick the, not exact opposite of that, but something in that area and go with caterpillar. Caterpillar is going to be my favorite animal.
Okay, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Are butterflies caterpillars for purposes of the game?
I will leave that as a question for the reader.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
I actually thought about it before as like somebody else brought that question up once, and I don't know. I wonder if you could have a game where you had caterpillars and butterflies and they were different. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll see what the caterpillars say because you get to tell me later on.
Yeah.
All right. Favorite animals picked. Next step is making the map. So we're going to need a nice blank space on Roll20. There it is. Boom.
Yep. Gotcha.
And
That's set up.
ready to rock. So the making the map, drawing the lands of Eden is pretty straightforward. Basically, you're going to think about where does your animal live. And your animal obviously lives in a place that would be suited to it. And you can kind of go from there however you want. So we're going to describe... Oh, I'm so sorry. Before we go to that step, there's one really important thing I missed. How many of your favorite animal live in Eden? We got to back just a little. So I'll start off. There are many caterpillars in Eden. And your options are one or a lot. So there's a bunch of caterpillars.
There's a ton of possums.
Okay.
It's just one polar bear.
One polar bear.
He's very, very lonely, but he has lots of prey, so it's pretty...
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Perfect. Now we can go to the drawing step where we're going to describe the land and then draw it, sketch it onto the map. And in terms of that, you can take up as much space as you kind of need, especially because we're digital, so you can just
make
it
space.
if you want. But we are going to be putting something around the outside, so just keep that in mind. We're kind of making something that is together in a cluster.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, whoever feels like it can go first.
I'll go first. I have something in mind.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of a nice, really thick, healthy, wooded, like a deep pine kind of forest with sort of like a stream in the middle. And I feel like that's where possums live. They live in those trees. So I'm just gonna draw I'm gonna draw the forest over here.
Cool. There it goes.
All right. While I'm doing that, someone else want to go? Because I can just keep doing this.
Oh wow. Cool. Nice little copy paste move there. I think that the caterpillars live pretty close by to the forest. In fact, I think that they live... There's kind of... You said it was like a pine forest?
Yeah.
Right? So I think there's this kind of the pine forest kind of goes down into a little bit lower area, and there's sort of a valley. Maybe that stream you mentioned kind of continues down into the valley, and there's a deciduous forest that's down there, and that forest is where the caterpillars live. So I'll join you here drawing on the map as we go.
Yeah, we're just going to spend 3 hours drawing on the map.
Sounds good. And Arthur, what are you thinking about?
I am making a thing.
Whoa!
My thing. That a little bit farther over. I didn't realize your tortoise is going to be so close. We got a nice coastline here. Cool. And there's some little icebergies where the polar bear likes to take naps on.
How the heck do I...
He lives bear life out there.
There we go. do this a different way. So, sorry, you said there were ice flows? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, is there also like a landmass, or is it just chunks of ice where the bear lives?
Just ice.
Mm-hmm.
He lives that kind of surf life, just moving between various ice flows, coming on land to feed, and then heading back out to the ice to sleep.
Cool. All right, let's see if I can create something resembling a deciduous forest here. No.
Yeah.
There's probably a much more efficient way to do this, but whatever. Oh wow, you got like Eric, you got like a whole rocks thing going.
Yeah, I got the whole biome going down.
Perfect. Cool. Yeah, there's just leafy trees down here.
Happy trees.
Valley. Yeah, exactly. There we go. That's good enough, I think. Maybe a little bit of this guy here. Kind of a pool down here. Let's see. I can make that a little better.
Yeah. Nice. Yep. Bob Ross Paints edition.
Yeah.
So many happy little trees.
I mean, playing a map drawing game, it's draw on the map, right?
Right. Well, that's the other thing. Although this is definitely.
I will zoom out a little bit.
I keep doing that. I keep drawing with the wrong color.
Yeah, it wants to default to the color that's set to your user profile in Roll20. So it's gonna keep doing that.
Oh, I guess that makes sense because it's like trying to let me do it. Oh, yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Well, anyways,
cool.
what's the next step?
The next step is to pretty much do the same thing again. So we're going to populate Eden a little bit more. We're going to add another round of animals to the map. And these animals are not anybody's favorite, but they are here. And because we mentioned them in this step, we're kind of saying like, oh, I'd be interested in seeing this animal during the game. So I'm kind of calling it out as something that I think would be good. But it's obviously just like any story game thing, it doesn't have to ever come up again after this point. So yeah, these are kind of things we'd like to see. And even if an animal, if we don't name it in this step, it can still be in the game later. So don't feel like you're restricted in that. In terms of the lands for these animals, you can put them into a land that's already on the map, or you can create a new land for them to live in. So it's really up to you.
Okay.
Yeah. So, what's some other animals that other things you'd like to see?
Peacock.
Peacock.
Nice.
Sweet.
Okay. Yeah, and also thank you, Bubbernut, for the host, my friend. I appreciate it. So, welcome new viewers. We're playing a story game called Eden. So just hang out. We just started, so you're in for a treat. All right. So let's talk about us drawing the land of the peacocks.
Yeah. So where do the peacocks live?
Peacocks live in the southwest in this tropical bamboo stand. I'm doing a really terrible job of drawing bamboo. I think I'm just gonna pretend like a yeah. That I mean, I tried doing like a tiered bamboo thing. I'm just gonna make a log shaped object. But I imagine it's like a terraced kind of bamboo thing. Maybe there's like some rice going on as well. I'm imagining like a southwestern, like Indian subcontinent style, in a little Southeast Asia.
Okay. Cool. Very cool.
Cool. Okay.
Oh, is there a limit on number of objects that can be in the map? I forgot about that.
I don't think
No.
so.
No? Okay.
It
But I
just gets
think-
really wacky.
It's just getting
I
a little laggy.
yeah, I
Okay.
think we'll know that the game will get really, really, really weird.
Remember Night Witches?
I drew this like fresco of the bait of like one of the bases in Night Witches. Okay, so I think I know what I'm gonna do. I think I'm going to go with what's the name of the animal? I forget the actual name of it. Not like a bighorn sheep, like a mountain goat.
Mountain goat.
Is it just mountain goat? Is that the?
Yeah, I think there's different kinds.
Yeah. So I'm gonna draw a bunch of mountains, and you know, like the big white ones that like live in like northern Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's like a that's what I want.
Cool. So while you guys are in the midst of adding on your stuff here, go ahead and draw your animal as well, and you can write its name and how many there are, one or many, next to it, because the animals we're describing in this step are also going to have one or many. So how many peacocks are there?
It's just one peacock.
One peacock.
Yeah.
How about
He knows about being fabulous.
Many goats.
cool? I'm going to add orca. The orcas live in the ocean, or the sea over here. And yeah, there's a bunch of them. It's like a whole pod. Nice shading on those mountains. Wow. This isn't your first time drawing on...
Roll 20. No. It is my first time drawing a mountain goat, though.
Fair. We've all been there once.
The first time we drew a mountain goat. I remember my first time drawing a mountain goat.
Oh, those halcyon days. All right, I'm attempting to draw an orca fin here, but I'm kind of making it just look really weird. So then we're gonna add some water ripples. Show that it's like in the water. These are super realistic graphics.
Yeah, this is the latest graphic edition.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You spared no expense here in Once Upon a Game.
There we go. Oh, nice goats. Nice, nice polar bear. He says "rar."
My drawing skills may not be at the same level as the rest of the community.
Well, here's
here.
the thing, though. I have no idea how I'm gonna draw opossums. I have no idea. Okay, I'm just gonna draw a little rat-looking thing.
Just as, yeah,
I mean, they're like a larger,
representation.
elongated rat.
basically.
I mean, their primary function is to lose control of their bodies, fall over pretending to be dead, and release a terrifying smell from their butt.
So they're like a skunk?
I mean, the thing is, the smell that comes from their butt literally is the same smell they make when they're dead. It's the skunk smell is to ward people away by being like, "Oh, it smells so bad." The possum smell is literally like, this animal's already dead." And they don't have any control over it either. Like, anytime they're frightened, they just fall over and pretend to be dead. Their body does it. It's not conscious.
What kind of lessons will this animal impart to humanity?
I'm
I
really excited to find
Possum
out.
is, I imagine the possum is like way braver
We are
than
the forest.
before because he never remembers falling over unconscious and dying.
We are the keepers of the forest.
So he always just thinks he's like, yeah, I totally stood up that guy. And then, like, I blacked out for a while. Then I woke up and he was gone. So I must have done something cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll save the animal commentary for
The
later
actual
because
game.
we'll have a chance to talk about it.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, in terms of the next step, oh wow, you're the master of the copy paste tool there. You got plenty of possums coming in. So while you guys are finishing up your sketches, I'll go ahead and tell you what the next step is going to be. Now that we've got kind of a nice, robust Eden here going on, we've got a bunch of different lands. We're going to add the wall and the gate. So the wall completely surrounds Eden, and it can be whatever you want: natural, supernatural. It's totally up to you. And one of us is going to describe the wall and kind of draw it on the map, and then the next person is going to talk about how the humans of Eden feel about the wall and behave towards it. What do we think about it? So, is anybody in the mood to draw the wall?
I have an idea about the wall.
Yeah, go for it.
And I just want to float this one. Feel free to shoot it down. If you've ever played Portal, the majority of the walls are just made up of like that white block material, like test material from Team Fortress 2 that they put in rooms to just be like, all right, this is a room, we'll texture it later. I feel like the wall is like made out of these pre-rendered white texture blocks.
Cool.
Like industrial blocks?
Yes.
Like the giant yeah, like Lego blocks kind of like stacked together with sort of like that the Xbox frame kind of thing, right? Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Yeah. So you can go ahead and do something to represent that surrounding all of the different lands of Eden. So it's kind of going to be, I mean, you can make it a big square if you want to, or you can shape it however you like, but it encapsulates us, it circles us. And going on my screen here, I'm kind of clockwise. It doesn't really matter, but we'll go around this way. So I will say how we feel about it. I think that we find it to be, really fun, actually. We don't think it's weird at all, even though you described it as made of like, what kind of material is it, Arthur?
Oh.
Is it like plastic?
Probably like rubbery, okay. So no one that runs into it would get super hurt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think we actually make a game of it. I think we do like to bounce off it and like run at it and then boing off of it and throw stuff at it and see how far it bounces.
Oh, it could be like a test for like young kids. Like, how brave are you? How fast do you run at the wall?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Ooh.
Cool. Okay, so then the next thing is the gate. So there's one way out of Eden, and it's the gate. And just like the wall, this gate can be natural or supernatural as you like. And Eric is going to tell us what it is and then add it to Arthur's wall whenever he throws that up in the map there, and then we'll go from there.
I want to know if this is legal. The gate is a whirlpool in the ocean. It's like a drain.
Yeah, totally. Is it near the wall?
Can it not be?
I don't see why not.
Yeah,
sure.
I think it's just like in the middle of the ocean. There's just like this, like vortex kind of spiral, and it's not like a maelstrom. It's not like it kicks up everything. It's just like there's this slow little like spinning motion. What's up, kitty?
It's this gentle kind of swirling down,
yeah,
slowly but surely. Yeah.
Kitty
cool.
wants to come up here.
Oh,
so.
snap. I can't copy paste. I forgot. Only GMs can do that.
What?
You guys can tag team it there.
Yeah, let me try to I can do it for you then.
I was just gonna can quickly construct a wall down and around.
Yeah. The thing about the map too is that it's all symbolic. I mean, it obviously there's something in this big white space here that we didn't draw, but we're kind of just making a representation of.
Yeah, it's lava. We don't talk about it, but it's actually lava.
100% lava, nonstop lava. Cool.
Yeah.
Arthur, how do we feel about the gate, and how do we behave towards it?
Oh boy. I mean, it's in a place we don't normally go to, right? Like it's really cold out there. There's not a lot of places to stand on. Maybe people will like swim out to an ice floe and observe the gate, and they're like, I wonder where it leads. You know, like the water that flows down to it, where does it go? One day will we all be like the water, but no one's like, oh snap, let's jump in. They're all just like, whoa, whoa, like we probably won't come back from that, dude. Like it's good. We're here because we're supposed to be here, and the gate's a little strange. Like animals don't go near it. That's how you know it's probably not good to just jump down there.
Yeah, so we're mindful of it, right?
Yeah, like we're like, whoa, the lesson of the orca and the bear are upon us. Do not go near the gate, but you may look at it from afar and ponder its grand mystery.
Awesome. That's great. That sounds perfect. Okay. So now we're going to start talking about our characters, the human characters that we'll be playing here during the game. So a couple notes about the human characters. All of us are roughly the same age, and we can kind of pick what that is, but the sort of default is late teens, early 20s, mid 20s, somewhere in that zone. Basically, none of us is like aged and far out past the others in age. We're all equal in experience, I guess is what I'm getting at. And other than that, I mean, we're pretty much whatever you want to be. So in terms of that, let's talk about what's going to happen next. First thing we're going to pick are names. You guys have the names there with you. Do you want me to put them into the chat?
The suggested name?
Yeah. You can also make up your own. But each of us is going to pick 2 names from this list. One of them will be your character, and the other one is going to be the name of a secondary character, another human that lives in Eden that doesn't belong to anybody and that we can bring into the story later if we need them. So once you pick out a name, or once you think of your own name, tell us what it is. Okay, you got one already. Nice.
My name is James, and I don't know how to pronounce this name. Tapasi.
Yeah, however you want to say it. I'm not.
I am attracted to the name because it looks like Tupac to me, and I feel like starting a world with Tupac would be a good way to go.
Can't go wrong with that.
I know.
Sweet.
I'm gonna grab Leia. And
okay.
For my main character and my secondary character, I'm going to grab Findabar. Curious to see where I'm going to go with that.
Findabar. Okay. I'm going to go with, let's see. I think I'm going to go with Vashti is my character's name. And the secondary character that I'm going to throw out here is Seth. Cool. So now that we have those names, we're going to go ahead and put those characters' names on our map in the place where they are most often found. And that doesn't necessarily have to be where your favorite animal is in terms of your character, although it certainly can be.
Okay.
And I don't know if we can I guess we could make the text a different color, so maybe we'll do it that way. In the tabletop version of the game, you would circle the names to make them kind of stand out. But since we have access to technology,
we can also change the font.
If you want to get really good, what you do is you type the name twice with 2 different font colors, and then you use Alt to line them up, so it's like it's got a shadow behind it.
Ooh. I think that might be more advanced than I'm capable of, but we'll see. We'll see.
Let's see here. I can science this.
Made it red.
There you go. Like that. James.
Hey. Cool. Oh.
So
And then I screwed it up. It's fine. Yeah, so James is normally found there on the ice.
yeah, James spends a lot of time looking at the gate, hanging out with the polar bears. Probably something with the orcas. I don't know yet. We'll figure it out.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Leah spends a lot of her time up near the source of the stream, so kind of between the forest and the mountains. But if I had to choose one, it's probably the mountains. And then Findabar hangs out down south in near the Peacock.
Cool. I think that Seth actually spends a lot of time at the tops of the mountains. We see him like off climbing to every little peak in the distance all the time. And Vashti is down hanging out in this forest here near the caterpillars.
I feel like Tipasi has taken it upon herself to like take care of these possums that get scared and go unconscious, and then they can't wake up for like 4 hours. And so Tipasi is like the one who like lifts them and like puts them underneath a leaf blanket and make sure to wipe their mouth because they're all foaming at the mouth and stuff.
Gross.
She's like the mother of dragons, but for possums.
Fantastic. Love it.
Cool.
Okay. Cool. Now we can hop back over to the character sheets. The next thing that we're going to be doing is skills. So you can think about a skill that your favorite animal has that a human could learn. So that doesn't include things like breathing underwater or flying or something like that. You can't learn that. But some other skill that your human could learn. And tell us what that skill is, and then jot down a note about it on your character sheet.
Patience.
Patience. Okay.
That's a good one.
Polar bears spend an enormous amount of time waiting for seals to come out of ice so they can hit them on the head.
I'm going to pause you, Arthur.
Yes.
Actually, one of us is going to tell you a story about how you learn that skill.
Oh, okay.
So,
I'm just telling you why polar bears are patient. Not why
perfect.
I am.
Okay, cool. Yeah, perfect. I think, who the heck even is my animal? Caterpillar. Let me think.
How did I learn my skill? Interesting.
I think I have one for me.
Yeah, sure.
So instead of learning patience, I learned persistence. That if you just play dead, your problems are, you can solve any problem. No problem's too great to solve if you're willing to just work hard enough.
You gotta commit.
Yeah, like commitment is. Yeah, I'm sorry, that's the better word. Commitment is the better part. Is that whatever you do, you have to do it the best. And you know what? You can survive by playing dead the best. Then anything else, just do it the best. So yeah, commitment. You gotta commit. That's how you sell being dead. So commitment.
Oof.
If you don't mind, yeah. If you don't mind, actually, could you guys raise your fonts a little bit too?
Yeah, sure.
I'm using 32. Would be the best one.
Okay.
It would look the best on screen.
Sure. 32 coming up.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
And what the heck do caterpillars even do?
They wait for the one true day. They become butterflies.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Yeah.
No, I think climbing. Yeah, I feel like that's going to be good. So yes, caterpillars climb, and so does Vashti. All right, cool. So we all have our skills, and we all have our things here.
Mm-hmm.
So the next part of the game is going to be lessons. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn to the person on our left, or whichever.
Well, so what we have in roll
Wow.
20, there's a linear list, right? So it goes Eric, Mark, AP.
Cool.
So just use that, pretend that we're in a circle.
Cool. So then I think you would be on my left, and then
Yeah.
AP is on your left.
Yes.
Cool. And what you're going to do is you're going to ask the person on your left, how did I learn my skill from my favorite animal? And they're going to sort of give you a vignette, a little story about the experience that you had that taught you the skill. And after you listen to that experience and kind of get a feel for what it was, you're going to think of a lesson that your character learned about whatever from that experience. So a lesson is kind of, if the skill is like something you can do, a lesson is like how should I behave? How can I handle myself when confronted with a decision? What is something that I can rely on? So I kind of sometimes like to refer to it as like sort of dad advice, like don't take any wooden nickels kind of thing. Like that's sort of a lesson. But it can really be whatever you want. There's no restrictions on the language or what it can cover or anything like that. Make sense?
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. So who feels like telling a story first?
I will start. So
Okay,
I have one for Vashti and how Vashti learned how to or a lesson. Oh, I have the vignette
Yeah.
for, and you'll tell me the lesson.
Cool. So how did I learn climbing from the caterpillars?
Well, we are in. The caterpillar likes to hang out in the coniferous forest, right?
The deciduous
Or
forest.
deciduous. Okay.
Mhm.
What's something that's delicious that grows on a tree?
Moss.
For caterpillars?
No, for some. Why would somebody? I need a reason for food. While you're climbing
Mushrooms,
the tree.
moss.
Apples.
What grows on a tree? Lettuce? What?
Apples.
Oh,
Mushrooms
apples.
and
Oh,
moss.
of course, apples. Yeah, no, it's an apple tree, and you're trying to get the best. All right, and you love apples, and you ate all the low hanging fruit, quite literally, and now you have to get those taller ones, right? So you learn how to like use the previous branches to like kind of like give yourself steps up to the higher branches. So you learn how to climb very well, and there's this one perfect ripe apple, right? It's the best apple. It'll be the best lunch in the world, but it's so on this like it's on the edge of the most like precarious branch to go get it, and so it's what you drive for the whole time. You climb up and you get the apple, but not the way that you expected though. You go onto that branch and you made your way finally up to that branch and you get really close, but you're too heavy and the branch breaks and you fall with the branch and you get your apple, but you had to fall and like hurt yourself to get this apple.
So I have to ask, how were the caterpillars a part of that?
So the caterpillar was obviously like on one of the branches and it was like, just follow me. And it just slow and steadily just kind of like inched its way up to the next branch and then like took a little like path up one little tiny twig branch to the next branch and it's like, there you go, see? And then like went into the apple next to it. And it was like, yeah, and it probably bored into the apple next to it and it was like, come on, let's go. Like, just come up here.
So it totally led me astray. Like it led me right to that branch and it broke.
Yeah, it didn't. And a caterpillar would never have thought that weight distribution's a problem. But,
No, I imagine not.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Cool.
it's like, I don't know, that's
Cool.
what I do. I'm a caterpillar.
Yeah. From that experience, I realized like Vashti, she watched this whole thing happen, and she was part of it, and it happened to her, and she learned not to follow the leader. I mean, like somebody tells you where to go, you look first. You don't just go there.
Nice.
Because
Yeah,
this
that's
caterpillar
awesome.
totally led her astray.
Yeah.
So there's my lesson. Don't follow the leader. Okay, so thank you for that, Eric. That was an awesome vignette. And moving over, I think that means AP, you're next.
And I'm doing a vignette about Leah and the badger. No, the possum.
Yeah, so Eric, remind AP what your skill is and your animal is.
Yes. So, my animal is the opossum, and the skill I learned is to commit to the bit.
So I think there was a series of weeks where Leah would come down the mountain river into the forest and be looking around and see the possum, one particular possum, constantly trying to cross the river, going across like a really slippery, moss-covered log. And after a couple feet, it would get afraid and freeze up and play dead and then fall over into the river and get carried downstream until... What's your alternate character's name? Oh, no, it's Tapasi. Tapasi's the mother of possums. Until Tapasi had to, like, fish it out. But as you watched, every day the possum would get, like, a couple of inches further. And one day, Leah was like, I'll pick you up and carry you over, possum. And the possum was like, no, I have to do this for myself. I don't really know why I keep waking up wet and down the river. But one day I will make it across to that delicious stand of mushrooms. And they did. And Leah was impressed that it happened. It just took an entire month to get 10 feet.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. So I think the lesson that I would learn would be... So it should be always framed or phrased in a do or don't, right?
Nope.
Okay.
No.
Or
no rules.
always or never. No, there's no
Nope.
hard fast rule. Okay.
I think there might have been in the last version of the game you played, but that is not the case anymore.
Yeah.
And I should point out that this can change. I mean, your lessons can go away; they can be revised. So whatever you put down now, you're not locked in. Although your skill is commitment, so
Okay.
you are locked in.
Then,
but
okay. Then Leah's lesson, a big takeaway lesson from the experience with the possum, is to obviously never give up, no matter what.
Fantastic. That's a great lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's a good lesson to test and realize
Yeah.
it's probably wrong.
Well,
Yeah.
We'll see. All right, so that just leaves you, Arthur.
That's true. I think you're telling me a story.
Mm-hmm. And remind me your animal and your skill.
Polar bears with patience.
Okay.
A polar bear.
Right. The polar bear.
Yes.
So, one day, James was out on the ice floes and was watching polar bear. James often watches polar bear from a distance. I think that polar bear is really big, and sometimes the floes that polar bear is on kind of wobble, and so it's sometimes hard for James to stand with him. So James just kind of watches. And on this particular day, the polar bear was kind of just like paws on the edge of the ice, looking into the water. James called out, like, "What are you looking for?" And the bear's like, "There are seals down there, and they're delicious." And James is like, oh. But then the orcas arrive, and the orcas are just circling the flow, and you see them like breaching up and chomping seals, and it's just like horrifying, and oof, it's rough. But as the orcas kind of continue their frenzy around and around and around, the bear just sits and waits and watches. And sure enough, after a nice long time, one of the seals, in kind of a panic, leaps up onto the ice floe where the bear is waiting. And that's when the bear suddenly jumps into action and strikes and gets it. And James is kind of puzzled, and he calls out later, "How did you know?" And the bear says, "You just have to wait long enough and things come to you." So there you go.
The lesson I learned was keep your cool, or you'll be eaten by metaphorical predators.
Sounds good. Bit of a mouthful,
Yeah.
but okay.
I was thinking, my other one was orcas aren't very nice. I didn't think that was the lesson I wanted to walk away with.
Either way,
we'll see. Yeah,
totally
we'll
up to
see.
you.
I really like the idea that James is such a deep thinker. He's like, metaphors, predators. I don't understand it all yet, but I don't want to be the seal. I want to be the bear.
Cool.
Love it. Love it.
Nice.
All right. Are we ready for our next step?
I think so.
Cool. So listen to the animals. It's the last step.
Okay.
And it works like this. Your favorite animal told you something about the attitude or behavior of the player character to your left, and you believe that it's true. So what did they say? So what this is going to mean is that my favorite, for example, the caterpillars told me something about Leah, and I think it's true. Whether it is true or not is up to Eric, who's playing Leah. I can't make it be true, but
It's
Vashti,
your perception.
right?
Yeah, of what's going on.
Vashti believes it is true. The caterpillars believe that it's true. So let's see. I guess as before, if anybody's got an idea, you can go first. We can all just think about it.
I got one.
Yeah.
The bear came to James and through a series of lessons has taught him about Vashti's deplorable behavior.
Okay.
Someone has got to be at the top, and it's never going to be Vashti.
Okay. So what specifically did the bear say about Vashti?
You're don't follow the leader. Like you're not a team player, and the bear is just like this. Someone has to be at the top, and you need followers. And Vashti's not a follower, and therefore can't be a good leader. Can't like. Now, don't let Vashti up there. And I'm like, interesting.
Okay. So the bear kind of like says I'm not trustworthy. Is that kind of what you're saying, or?
It's not that you're not trustworthy. It's that you're not predator material.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes more sense. Yeah, not predator material. Love it. Okay. Caterpillars. I think the caterpillars think that Leah is stupid. And I think that they told Vashti that Leah is just, the caterpillars spend a lot of their time eating, which is what they love to do. And they see Leah with the opossums, and the caterpillars do not like the possums at all, but mostly because they think the possums are very like crude and gross. And so they kind of feel like Leah has those traits also, that she's just kind of a slob.
Guilty by association.
Sorry, it's not me. It's what the caterpillar said.
The possums think that James is romantically interested in Leah. All the signs are there. It's obviously that James likes Leah.
Awesome. All right, cool. And that concludes our mapping and character creation.
Should we write that down?
Nope.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to, you can make a note, but we don't have to.
Cool. Well, that's perfect. That's literally exactly 1 hour. So what we're going to do is I like to take an hour break. At the top of every hour, take a 5-minute break at the hour. So we'll be back in 5 minutes. We're going to get some more water, go to the bathroom, grab a snack. So we'll see you guys for the start of the scenes. So this has been Eden. And once again, Eden is on Kickstarter now. And I'm posting it in the chat right there. So we'll see you guys in 5 minutes.